Welcome. In this Ignitia tutorial, you will learn how Ignitia's communication tools provide multiple ways for teachers and students to connect with each other. When used effectively, you can increase students' understanding of concepts, expectations, due dates, and other important information. Let's jump right in and start looking at communication using the built-in messaging tool. You will see your new unread messages on your home page. From here, you can click on the message to open it, which will then allow you to reply to the sender, forward the message to another user, or archive the message. You will also have the option to export the messages that you receive from other users so that those messages can be saved outside of Ignitia. You can do all of those things and also compose new messages of your own in the Messages tab. When you click the Messages tab, the inbox will automatically display. You'll notice it looks a little bit like email. With that being said, it's important to note that the messages you receive and send through Ignitia are not tied to an email inbox like a school email or others like a Gmail account. Instead, messages go from Ignitia user to Ignitia user and are all contained internally on your site unless you choose to export them. Notice across the top row, there are several drop-down menus and buttons. First is the inbox. You can click on this drop-down menu to display sent or archived items, which allows for message filtering. When you click on the All Messages drop-down menu, you can filter the inbox to display your read or unread messages. When you're ready to compose a message, select the New Message button to open a new message window. We'll come back to that in a moment. Next, you can mark messages as read or unread by first selecting the checkbox to the left of the message and then selecting the desired status. Finally, you can archive messages. Click the checkbox to the left and select the Archive button. This will move the message out of the inbox and into the archive folder. You probably have noticed that there isn't a delete option on this page. Messages in Ignitia cannot be deleted, only archived, which is like putting them in a virtual file cabinet. That means that you'll always have a historical record of any and all communication using Ignitia's messaging tool. Now that we've discussed the location and function of each of the buttons, let's look at a few more tips for making the most of the Messages tab. Unread messages display in bold text. To read a message, simply click the I in the Actions column. Notice that each column offers information about the message. The Selection column on the left is where you can click the checkbox to select a message. You can use this column to perform the same action to multiple messages. For example, to move several messages to the archive folder. Next, we have the Date, From, and Subject columns, each of which can be stored in ascending or descending order by clicking on the column heading. The Preview column will show you the first few words of the message. Finally, in the Actions column, you can perform other actions such as reply, forward, archive, export, or view lesson, depending on the type of message received. To compose a message, click the New Message button. Using the Context drop-down menu, select your audience. Please note, students can only send messages to their assigned teachers or to teachers and admins who have messaged them first. Students cannot send messages to other students through Ignitia. Now you can select the recipients of this message. You can easily find your desired contact by keying the person's name in the search box. Click the checkbox next to each desired recipient. As you do so, you'll notice that each name appears in the To field to the left of the Contact section. To remove somebody from the message, just uncheck the box or click the X next to their name in the To field. You can send a message to all listed recipients at once by checking the box at the top of the list beside the search column. Next, you'll need to enter the subject of the message. You are not allowed to leave this blank. Key your message in the box below the formatting toolbar, which allows you to do things like bold text and change font color, among other formatting edits. When you're done keying your message, click the Send Message button. You can also send a message to multiple students enrolled in the same course all at the same time. For example, if you wanted to send a message to all of your Algebra 1 students, you can do that. To message students within the same course, Let's head to the Gradebook tab. On the left side of the screen, select View by Course in the filter box. This will generate a list organized by course name. Next, search for the assigned course of the students you wish to message using the Course drop-down menu. You can also just click the Search button to see all of your courses. Once you see the course that contains the students that you'd like to message, click the envelope icon. All students in the course will be selected, but you can uncheck the box next to the name of any student who does not need to receive this message. Next, add a subject title, compose your message, and click the Send Message button. You'll also find the messaging option in another useful place. Let's learn how to use it to provide feedback to a student within an assignment. You'll first need to navigate to the Gradebook tab. From here, use the filter box to find a specific student, and then drill down into one of her courses by opening the course, the unit, and finally the assignment. At the top right side of the assignment, you have a box with several action buttons. One of these buttons is New Message. Perhaps your student has worked on this lesson and has been unsuccessful in passing it. You can provide feedback by sending a message. Click the New Message button and you'll see the same message screen that we saw earlier. But there's one difference here. The Assignment Info checkbox beside the subject line will populate the subject, the unit, and the assignment title. One student will already be selected as the recipient of your message, but you'll notice that you can also select other students and even teachers if you need to. Compose your message and click the Send Message button to send the message. One major benefit of sending a message in this way is that the student will always have the assignment information to refer to when reading your message. Another useful communication tool that can be found in the gradebook is the Help button. If you have ever received a help request from one of your students, then you've already utilized this tool. But you don't need to wait for a student to initiate contact in this way. Click the Help button on any question from an assignment that your student has already completed at least one attempt to attach a message directly to that question. The Help button is an excellent way to add comments or suggestions for revision on student writing assignments or projects, because the student will be able to see your message while he or she is working, without having to navigate back and forth between the inbox and the assignment. The last communication tool we'll talk about is the Notes feature. Your students aren't the only ones who can add notes to their online assignments. Teachers can add notes too, which can be very useful if you want to help struggling students or highlight important information in an assignment. Within the gradebook, you can view any lesson in the courses in which your students are enrolled. Click the Show Lesson button at the top of the assignment for a complete view of the lesson with all of the sections. Put your cursor just to the left of the assignment text. When you do this, you'll see a shadow tab appear. This will happen all the way down the assignment. When you find a place that you want to leave a note for your student, click the Shadow tab. This will open a text box where you can now leave a note for your student. When you click Save, the note closes, but the tab remains. When the student sees this, it will be labeled Teacher Note and it will be in red. This tool allows you to add multiple notes in strategic locations within a student's assignment. Students also have the same tool, so they'll be able to view and print your notes in addition to their own. You can print notes as well. At the top of the page, click the Print menu and you can choose to print all notes, which will include your notes as well as the student's notes, or just the student's notes. Understanding and using all of the communication tools available in Ignitia will help to ensure your students' success. If you have further questions or would like more information, please contact technical support. Thank you for viewing this Ignitia tutorial.